Services, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. It is indeed a great pleasure for me and my people to welcome you to the Upper West region in general and to the World Traditional Council in particular. Your periodic visits to this palace at the least opportunity are assurances that you have never been out of our mind. We are grateful for that, as it is ample proof that by inscribing you as Wa Naa, we did the right thing. Wa Naa, for me and my people, your presence here today is a regular homecoming event and nothing new. You will definitely have ample time to touch base with your numerous friends and acquaintances in the region who will always have fond memories of you and what you did for the region. Ladies and gentlemen, there is no gainsaying that an election year in this country is often characterized by some degree of apprehension as pronouncements of some political players encourage mayhem. However, at the end of each election, the peace and tranquility Ghana is noted for prevails. We in the Upper West region, in particular, and Ghana as a whole, are therefore optimistic that the 2020 elections will come to pass with nothing untoward happening to Ghana. The era of GC promises, delivered in flowery languages and enhanced by ridiculous token gifts in our election year, is fast becoming a thing of the past and is being replaced by evidence-based campaigns. Most Ghanaians are now discerning. And will make informed decisions based on the track records of the various political parties and politicians. It is therefore on this score that the people of the West Central constituency acknowledge and express their immense gratitude for the development projects you brought to the constituency during your tenure of office. These include the water projects, hospitals, expansion of the airstrip, provision of school infrastructure, paving the courtyard of the Wa Naa Palace, a state-of-the-art and well-resourced regional library, as well as a host of others. We assure you that we are not ungrateful people. Wa Naa, we therefore trust that you and members of your entourage currently in the Upper West region will have ample issues to talk about in your campaign. We entreat you to do so with the utmost civility and respect for divergent political views. After all, that is the beauty of democracy. We are by this calling on all political activists to desist from hate campaigns, as evidence shows that intemperate language, mudslinging, as well as vitriolic attacks on persons have never won elections in this country. Politics should not divide us to the extent that we cannot tolerate even the existence of one another. Your Excellency, the youth across the political divide in the World Traditional area bemoan the fact that although the West Central constituency is arguably the most populous constituency in the region, it nevertheless suffers neglect when it comes to appointments after elections. This is the case with both political parties, which have at various times been given the mandate by the people to govern this country since the beginning of the Fourth Republic. The youth, and indeed the generality of the people in the constituency, are not happy about this and have asked me to bring it to your attention. The people will also want you to have in mind a number of projects that are very dear to them. They are polyclinics at Busa and Boli to help ease the congestion at the one municipal hospital, which sometimes discourage people from seeking immediate medical attention even when they are very sick. An irrigation facility to enable our people engaged in dry season farming to augment their incomes from farming during the rainy season is also urgently needed. The other project is a dual carriageway from the Mahama to the airstrip. This is because the decades-old single-lane road has outlived its usefulness, as the number of vehicles on it has increased several times over, to the extent of making driving on it sometimes very dangerous, particularly as heavily laden articulated trucks heading for the neighboring countries prefer to use that road. Last but not the least is the issue of our airport. This has been on the drawing board for some time now. The current airstrip is fast becoming inadequate and needs immediate replacement, especially as it is located almost in the middle of the town and stretching across part of the Wa Hamili Road. Napabakulena, we wish you and our mother, sister, and daughter, Professor Nana Jane Opoku Ajiman, Allah's blessings in your bid to lead this country to prosperity.
My father, the Wa Naa, elders of the Wa Traditional Council, it is always a pleasure for me to come back home to this palace, because as I proudly tell everybody who cares to hear, I am a member of this traditional council. And so anytime I come to this palace, it is coming home to pay obeisance to my father, the Wa Naa. I want to thank the people of Wa and the Upper West region as a whole for coming out in your numbers during the recent registration exercise. The numbers are impressive, and it is a demonstration that our people are willing and anxious to exercise their franchise in choosing who leads them over the next 4 years. There will be the exhibition of the voters' register, and I wish to encourage you, just as you came out in your numbers to register, the exhibition exercise is equally important. And so when the EC brings the register and asks us to go and check our names to make sure our names are in the register, let's take it as seriously as we took the registration exercise itself. Because if you don't check for your name in the register and it has accidentally been omitted, then unfortunately, even though you have your voter's card, if your name is not in the register on the day of the election, 7th December, you will not be allowed to vote. And so I call on my father, the Wa Naa, and all the elders, that just as you encouraged all our people to come out during the registration exercise, let us do the same when the voters' register is exhibited. NDC has a particularly strong relationship with the Upper West region, because as everybody knows, the history of the Upper West region is related strongly to the NDC party. The Upper West region was established by the founder of our party, Jerry John Rawlings. And since its founding, almost every development project that has taken place in the Upper West region has taken place under an NDC administration. so the Upper West region can rest assured that any time the NDC is in power, it will get access to its fair share of the national cake. As the Wa Naa said in his statement, we have been practicing this democracy since 1992. And Ghanaians have become very discerning. They are not people that you can take for granted or take for a ride. And so his caution to politicians to be careful about indulging in false promises is a very well-placed one. Any political party that comes with the notion that it can promise heaven just to win political power will be very disappointed on the day of the election, because the results will reject those false promises. NDC is a party that takes truth and honesty seriously, and we promise only what we can deliver. Unfortunately, many others have not done the same, and therefore they have made our people lose faith in our democratic experiment. NDC will restore honesty and truth to government and build the confidence of our people in our democracy. As the Wa Naa stated, in office, we have completed many projects in Wa. The Upper West Regional Hospital is a good example. That hospital should have been completed long ago, because at the time I left office, it was essentially 95% complete. It is a pity that it took so many years for the present government to eventually operationalize the hospital. But even then, as we all know, the hospital is struggling because it does not have seed money to be able to give the quality treatment that the people of Upper West deserve. And so I want to assure my father Wa Naa and the elders and the people of Wa and Upper West region that one of the first things we will do when we come into office is to provide the seed money for that hospital to be able to run efficiently. We built the Wa airstrip years ago, and in our last administration, we upgraded it to the Wa airport, providing facilities for arrival and departure. I wish to assure the Wa Naa that we will continue to upgrade facilities at the airport, at the Wa airport, so that it becomes a major destination for air travel in this country. When we came into office, Wa and its environs were suffering crippling water shortages. People had to go long distances to be able to access clean drinking water. We therefore started the water project at Jambusi to supply Wa and surrounding communities with water. I'm happy to state that that project was successful and that it is providing clean drinking water to hundreds of thousands of people in the Wa metropolis. We also, in order to further the learning and quality education in the Wa metropolis and the Upper West region, we established a state-of-the-art first-class regional library here in Wa. Indeed, today it is one of the best libraries in the whole of Ghana. We also tarred and asphalted the roads in Wa Township. I remember before we came to office, most of the roads were in a very poor shape. But we asphalted, we tarred many of the roads. We didn't complete before we left office. But when we come back into office, we'll continue the upgrading of the roads in Wa Township. We will also it is our policy to link all regional capitals with a first-class road. Wa, capital of the Upper West region, and Bolgatanga, capital of the Upper East region, remain the only two regional capitals that are not linked with first-class roads. We started work on it before we left office. Unfortunately, the project has been abandoned. I can assure Wa Naa that in our next administration, before we leave office, the road between Wa and Bolgatanga will be a first-class road. And as Wa Naa will note, we had decided that we were going to turn the UDS into 3 autonomous universities. And so we began upgrading the facilities on the Wa campus. We were building a state-of-the-art hostel, a library, and a state-of-the-art lecture theater. Unfortunately, after we left office, most of those projects have stalled. And so Wa Naa can rest assured that when we come, we'll continue from where we left off and upgrade the facilities at the UDS Bamahun campus. I've also taken note of his request, and we intend to do it, to dualize the road from Bamahun into Wa Township and continue it past the airport. Because this is a part of the Trans-African Highway. And once we complete the road that goes to Hamile, a lot of the heavy-duty trucks going to Bobo Dioulasso and Mali will rather come through Wa instead of going through Paga. And so we'll continue and finish the Hamile road, and we'll dualize the road from Bamahun so that the trucks can pass safely when they come through the Wa Township. My father, Wa Naa, there are many other things that we intend to do. Once the new Upper West Regional Hospital is fully operational, it is our intention to upgrade the facilities in the Wa Municipal Hospital so that the Upper West Regional Hospital will be the referral hospital, and the Wa Municipal Hospital will be the first point of call for basic illnesses. We'll also locate polyclinics in strategic areas so that we reduce the pressure on the Upper West Regional Hospital and the Wa Municipal Hospital. It is the aim of all countries to attain what we call universal health care. Unfortunately, our current National Health Insurance Scheme makes it difficult for us to attain this objective because the payment of premiums at the lower rank of the health delivery system makes it difficult for everybody to be able to access quality health care. And so we're bringing a new program to supplement the NHIS. And let me point out that this program and this plan we're bringing is going to be implemented and supervised by the NHIS. But it's going to be a program for free primary health care, so that at the level of the CHIPS compounds, the polyclinics and the health centers, all Ghanaians can have access to free health care whether they possess a national health insurance card or not. Because people are unable to go to hospital if they haven't renewed their premiums. Or if for some reason, and it happened before, the NHIS is not able to issue cards, then it means that people cannot access health care because they must show the NHIS card before they get treatment. But at the district level, health center, polyclinic, CHIPS compound level, we will be able to let Ghanaians go to hospital and access quality health care free of charge, so that we will leave the higher echelons of our health system to the use of the NHIS card. So it is not going to replace the NHIS card, it is going to complement and supplement the National Health Insurance Scheme. My father, the Wa Naa, there are many other things that we intend to do. We'll complete all the abandoned senior high schools that we were building. I'm sure you remember the community day schools, the E-blocks. We completed some of them before we left office. Many others were at an advanced stage of completion. Others we had awarded contracts and contractors were moving to site. We did this because we knew that with the implementation of the free SHS, the numbers of students were going to increase in the existing secondary schools. And so the completion of those schools was a priority for us so that they could absorb the extra numbers in order that we don't create congestion in the existing schools. Unfortunately, the new government that took over from us decided to abandon all those schools. And therefore, we realized that the implementation of the free SHS has been plagued with a lot of challenges, including congestion in the schools, because there are not adequate facilities in the existing secondary schools. And that is what led to the introduction of the double track. I have said when we come into office that we're going to work quickly to complete all the secondary schools we're working on so that more children can have access to secondary education and abolish the double track system. We will also upgrade facilities in the Wa Senior High School, the Wa Islamic High School, and also the TI Ahmadiyya SHS. We're going to upgrade facilities in those three schools so that more children can have access to education. My father, Wa Naa, if you look at the way Wa is growing and you look at the growth in population, it is my belief and it's our intention that a new NDC government will convert Wa from a municipal assembly into a metropolitan assembly. I have recently announced what I call the Big Push. The Big Push is a $10 billion investment in upgrading social and economic infrastructure in Ghana in order that we can create a platform for economic transformation. So this Big Push and the $10 billion is going to be invested in expanding and improving our road network across the whole country. It is going to be invested in expanding our health facilities across the whole country. It's going to be invested in expanding our educational facilities from basic education right up to tertiary in the whole of the country. It is going to be invested in extending electricity to all parts of Ghana. It will be invested in providing clean drinking water to all our people, no matter where they are in Ghana. But it will also be invested in the productive sector in order to increase the productivity of our people. And one of the projects that we have captured in our manifesto, especially for the Upper West region, is to expand irrigation facilities in the Upper West region so that our farmers can be able to farm all the year round. And so we've captured the Kamba irrigation dam in our manifesto, and it is one of the major projects we'll implement under the Big Push program. Our intention is also to create jobs for people. And so we're coming up with a 1 million jobs plan. This is going to target especially the youth. We are going to invest in the young people in order that they are able to get jobs to do. We intend to add 250,000 jobs every year for the next 4 years so that young people who are willing and able to work will be able to find work to do. This will be in the area of forestry, it will be in the area of agribusiness, it will be in the area of tourism, it will be in the area of creative arts, it will be in the area of construction, it will be in the area of mining. Every sector will see an expansion in job creation. We also have good news for our colleagues living with disability, persons with disability. And I know a group of my sisters are seated here. We're going to increase the District Assembly Common Fund share that is given to disabled. And let me explain. When the NPP came into power, they reduced the share of the District Assembly's Common Fund from 7.5 to 5%. And so when they reduced it, it means that the share of the disabled also reduced. Because if you were getting 3% of 7.5%, and somebody reduces it from 7.5 to 5, and you are even getting 5% of 5%, it's smaller than the 3% of 7.5%. And so 5% of 7.5%, when we increase the District Assembly's Common Fund back from 5% to 7.5%, it means that the share that goes to disabled persons will also increase proportionately. But the good news is that the problem has normally been with disbursement of the fund. The district chief executives and metropolitan chief executives do not prioritize the disbursement of the disability fund. And so we're going to create a fund which will be separate from the District Assembly's Common Fund. When the District Assembly's Common Fund comes, the share of the disabled will be paid into a special account. And they will have a board of trustees formed by the disabled persons themselves. Who will be responsible for disbursing that fund? Part of the fund, 50% of it, will go as monthly stipends to disabled persons. And the other 50% of the fund will be invested in projects and programs that will benefit the disabled people. But they themselves will determine how they want to use their money. My father, Wa Naa, I wish to assure you that the NDC government is a government that treasures the peace and unity of this country. And anytime NDC has been in power, we always work to bring this nation together and ensure that we all live in peace and unity. Unfortunately, that has not been the experience under the NPP administration. At every opportunity, they have sought to divide us. They have sought to use violence in order to achieve their political ends. I can assure you that the NDC will restore the peace and unity of this country. And when we come into office, the opportunities of this country are not going to be for just a few elite selected people. The opportunities of this country are going to be available to every Ghanaian, notwithstanding your religious affiliation, notwithstanding your ethnic origin, notwithstanding your political affiliation. The opportunities of this country will be available to all our people, because after all, nobody is more Ghanaian than the other. All of us are Ghanaians. One of the major challenges that our people face in this part of the country especially is safety and security. We all know that under an NDC administration, Ghana is always safe and secure. Since NDC left office, every day there are countless stories of armed robberies. NDC is going to come and put an end to those brazen armed robberies that have been taking place. We will re-equip the Joint Military and Police Task Force to provide constant patrols on our highways and they will combat the armed robbers and bring armed robbery to a basic minimum so that our people, our mothers, can go to market knowing that they will go safely and come back safely. I can assure you, NDC will make sure that the safety and security of this country is guaranteed for all Ghanaians. And so I wish to thank you very much for the usual warm reception I've received. And I wish to emphasize again how proud I am and how honored I am with the chieftaincy title you gave me, Napogba Kolena. I carry it with pride, and I want to thank you very much for your warm welcome to myself and my entourage. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Asampaya Obayansa Pusu Bundia one can asam. They mafu to some kakre wa supreme.